Turns out there's a reason why some students stay for years, some students only stay for a couple of months. Why some people, when they come in, are eager and ready and willing to jump in your family and make sure that they join your programs right away, and why some people, they'll swear up and down that they're going to sign up, but they never do. And that is that when we attract all kinds of people, when we spread ourselves too thin, we end up attracting the wrong customers. And it turns out, especially if you're on a limited budget, especially if you're the way that I was when I had my couple of martial arts schools, if you're somebody who literally can't spend the time, energy, and money to target everybody effectively, it turns out that there's a way to attract your ideal customers and make sure that you get the maximum customer lifetime value in a way that doesn't breach your integrity, that doesn't make you a salesy jerk, and that doesn't make you turn into a black belt factory. But who's your ideal customer? The ideal customer is somebody who buys easily, who buys often, who wants to be part of your family, who doesn't have to be talked into it, somebody who's in a demographic, a mood, an age group, who wants a certain kind of training that you can over-deliver on. Now, you might be like me. I'm an instructor in 5 different martial arts systems. I could run all kinds of different programs. But if I advertised that, if I said we have a Hapkido program, a Jiu-Jitsu program, a Filipino Kali stick and knife fighting program, a close quarter hand-to-hand combat program, if I were to advertise all the kinds of programs at once, then I get people that are scattered. And then when people come in, they're not exactly sure what they're going to learn with me. Can I do a cage fight? Can I do forms in a traditional martial arts tournament? Am I just training for street reality? What exactly am I getting? Now, by being more focused, we can target, hyper-target, the kinds of people who are going to be the best customers for us. So think back for just a moment. Over the last 20 or 30 people that have come into your school that have signed up really easily, that were like eager and willing to jump in, what were they like? What demographic and age group were they in? What kinds of questions were they asking? What kinds of social groups do they belong to? Really get a mental image of what those people are like, because those are the people from now on that you're going to spend 80% of all of your advertising and marketing budget, time, and energy targeting. Now look, I know what you're thinking. Well, Jason, I also need a kids program and a teens program and an adults program. I need a Krav Maga program and a karate program and an MMA program, all because we do it all. I get it. And you can have as many programs as you want. Fine. But when we're branding ourselves, meaning when we are speaking from our martial arts school to our local market, we have to be as pinpoint focused as possible in order to differentiate ourselves from other schools. The reason why differentiation is so important is because if you are doing it all and other schools are also trying to do it all, even if you know they don't do a good job, the market doesn't know that until they get sold, right? If you're all doing it all, then this is what people do. They sort by price, sort by distance. It becomes like buying a car. What do you do to buy a car? Do you look for the best possible place that sells Fords? If you want a Ford? No. What you do is you go online and you sort by price, sort by distance, and as long as it's, okay, I have these 2 or 3 colors that I'm interested in, who's got it the cheapest and who's the closest to my house? That's how you sort. Same with hotels, right? Sort by, do I want to be in the middle of New York City? Okay, great. Sort by distance from the center. Okay, great. Now I've got 10 options. All right, now which one's the cheapest that doesn't look like a Motel 6? How did I used to target people? This is a personal example. So I teach all kinds of different martial arts, right? We could run an MMA program, we could run a tournament-based program, and a reality-based self-defense program. But what I'm the best at, what I felt like I could over-deliver and really delight my customers with, was close quarter hand-to-hand self-defense, stick and knife fighting through Kali. That's what people were most happy with when I would teach, and so that's what I put forth into the market. There were a couple of other really great MMA schools, and if you wanted to learn cage fighting, I sent you there. There were great karate schools. If you wanted to do tournaments, I sent you there. Now that might sound like craziness, and maybe you have those other programs and you could filter people into those. Fine. But if you're spending time and money advertising MMA, advertising Krav Maga self-defense or whatever it is that you teach, advertising a tournament program, advertising a kids after school program, and then you're never going to have the right amount of budget, time, and energy to properly attract the proper customers in each of those segments. So how do we get around this? We have to be pinpoint focused on one thing at a time with a process called maximize before you multiply. We have to maximize a program that we can be the best at, over-deliver at, overjoy. The program that people, when they come in, they become raving fans because you're so damn good at it. You're so much better at it than your competition that it's unmistakable. Okay. Nobody can argue with it. It's undisputed. Okay. What are you the best at? What do people need and like the most from you? Start there. Spend all of your time and your energy and your money advertising that thing to the exact kind of customer that you, in your experience, has signed up the easiest and has stayed for the longest and has most readily been a part of your family. Okay, your martial arts family. Target that for as long as it takes to maximize that program. Maybe that's 25 students, 50 students, 30 students, 150 students. I don't know. Maximize that first, or you'll spread yourself so thin that you'll get these little leaky leads, a lead for this and a lead for that, and they're kind of iffy, and they take forever to sign up, or they never sign up, or they sign up but then they quit after 2 months. If you want to drop that BS and start having a program that you can get excited about, even if you're only teaching out of your garage, focus on one thing. If you're teaching out of a YMCA and a Jewish community center like I used to before I opened my 2 schools, do that. If you have a school that you just opened, you have 20 students, you're barely paying the bills. If you're barely paying the bills, you don't have a big budget, you have to do this. Maximize before you multiply, differentiate from the competition, and pinpoint focus on one program at a time. Now, Jason, what happens if I'm advertising an adults karate program or an adults MMA program and, a parent comes in and has 2 kids? My point isn't for you to only literally have one program. My point is for your branding and your advertising to focus 80% of its energy on the one program that you can do the best, on the one program that nobody can do better than you. And even if you spend 20% of your advertising, marketing those other things, fine. If you've got adults MMA and that's your big thing, and you're targeting adults that like UFC and that like boxing on Facebook, but you also have on the bottom kids programs also available, fine. But 80% of your energy, 80% of your videos, 80% of your good content, we talk about that in other videos about how to put it out there so that your branding is proper. So my question for you is, what are you going to do next? How are you going to use this information? Comment, let us know. We want to hear from you. Also, this is part of a much larger series on the topic, so look out for some links in the description as well. And share this with someone that you think might really need it. This is Jason Herrera. I'll see you next time.